Hi there, JT family, and welcome back to part 2 of self-motivation. We all need a little bit of motivation sometime. And in part 1 of this series, we discussed motivation as a concept. So if you haven't watched that video, I want to encourage you to please go back and watch it because it sets the tone for part 2. In part 1, we discussed the 2 origins of motivation. Number 1, intrinsic, and number 2, extrinsic. In part 2, we will be focusing on the self component in self-motivation. I want to tell you a quick story. A number of years ago, I faced a motivational challenge in my life. I was running after every single motivator in the world, trying to find motivation to achieve the goals that I had. The problem was I couldn't keep that motivation. And those motivators weren't necessarily there when I needed them. I had to get to the place where I learned how to motivate myself. Therefore, the motivation or self-motivation theme is very near and dear to my heart. I had to find my own voice in motivation. I had to find my own voice in motivating myself. So before we can even start the conversation of motivation, we need to look at the self. I want to ask you today, do you actually believe in yourself? Because belief plays a massive role in not only just motivating yourself, but achieving those goals that you want to achieve. I want to say the following. The dreams, the aspirations that you have for your life are directly linked to your belief in your abilities. And no matter how much motivation there is in your life from external sources, it will never be enough if you don't believe in yourself. So how do we get to the place where we firstly believe in ourselves? Well, one of my favorite writers, he's probably the most successful coach in the world, the most successful mentor, the most successful motivator in the world, Mr. Tony Robbins, says the following. He says, emotion follows motion. So if you want to change a certain emotion or change a certain pattern, you need to have the right action. And for us to start believing in ourselves more, in order to motivate ourselves, I want to give you the following challenge. Firstly, a quick question. What is the 2 most powerful words in the English language? No, it's not a nuclear warhead. It is the words, I am. So if I had to ask you, start a sentence with the words, I am, and then complete it, how would you end that particular sentence? And that is the challenge that we will have going forward in part 2. I want to challenge you in the I am challenge. What you will be doing is the following. You will write down I am in the beginning of a sentence. You will then complete it with a statement about yourself, maybe an attribute. You will then continue to write down 10 of these attributes consecutively. So it might say something like, I am kind. I am a servant, I am loving, etc., etc. What you then need to do is, for the next 21 days, wake up nice and early. You will look at yourself in the mirror and repeat those statements that you wrote down to yourself. And you will see, if you were to pursue this, your thinking with regards to yourself will start to change. That is if you are honest in the initial challenge. I actually challenged myself with this particular challenge in the last month. And I must say to you, every single morning I had quiet time and then I stood in front of the mirror and I started declaring these statements over my life. So I stood up and I said, I am a servant. I am a believer. I am honest. I am courageous, I am kind, etc., etc. And I promise you, the way I think about myself changed. I've started believing in my abilities again. So I want to challenge you with this. Take part in the I Am challenge. We're going to create a competition out of this. And in part 3, I'll tell you a little bit more about that. We're going to call it the JT Online I Am competition. I want to encourage you to please immerse yourself in this competition or challenge, because it will definitely add value to your life. Remember, the 2 most powerful words in the English language is I am. Who are you? Do you believe in your abilities? Well, I believe in you. I hope you are feeling ignited. I hope you are feeling excited. And I hope your thinking is being challenged. This is Ferdi and is signing off for part 2 of the self-motivation theme. I look forward to seeing you in part 3.